Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for today's class. We're going to get started in a comfortable seated position. You can be cross legs, sitting on a cushion. We're going to do a little bit of breathing here, or you could be up on your knees in hero's pose. That's a nice way to sit nice and tall, making lots of room in your diaphragm and rib cage. I find the edge of a cushion or a bolster works nicely, helping to keep you nice and upright. So, once you get settled, you can close your eyes, start to tune in with your breath. Let's scan our bodies. Notice how you're feeling. If anything is niggly, tight. And I wanted to start with a little reading while you're with your eyes closed, breathing. And this is from Mark Nepo's Book of Awakening. August 18th, settling into the weight. I am sitting in Bryant Park in New York City as I write this. It is summer and the tall oaks all lean south for some reason. It is midday and everyone is slouching in the heat. There are professional lunchers, German tourists, old men dozing, and the homeless muttering them to themselves as sparrows flit, their chirps and messages no one can decode. At times, life seems like an enormous waiting room with no destination, in which some walk stiffly to and fro, waiting for the pain to stop. Others wait for something good to happen. Still others fear that something bad will begin. The driven plan while they wait. I am each of them. It is a struggle, has always been, for each of us to settle deep enough into the wait until we discover that there is nowhere to go. Perhaps the greatest challenge, once fully awake, is to drop all reaching and simply open like a clam, waiting in the deep until life in all its guises floods through the half-closed center that is us. Keeping our eyes closed. Let's take our hands and place them around our lower rib cage. We'll start to notice how our ribs move as we breathe. Let's close our mouths, breathing in and out through our nose. And see if you can count 4 on your inhale and 4 on your exhale so that you've got an even inhale and exhale. Noticing your ribs moving as you fill them slowly with oxygen. Expanding. Continuing 4 inhale count and 4 exhale count. Breathing through our nostrils. Lips are gently sealed. Maybe you'll see if we can increase the count on our inhale and exhale. See if you can do this to 7. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If this feels too much for you, find a number in between that feels right for your body. We'll be breathing here for another moment. Just being here with our breath. Finding stillness in our body. Trying to ignore anything going on around us. A few more breaths here. On your next exhale, let's slowly open our eyes, keeping them soft. And if you're on a cushion or something, or on your knees, let's see if we can come to just a regular seated pose on the floor. We're going to do some shoulder rolls. So you can have your legs crossed in any which way. We're sitting tall. Let's shrug those shoulders up towards your ears. Let them roll back. And as you roll them backwards, see if you can feel your shoulder blades pulling down your back. Inhaling up, moving with our breath. Exhale, release them down our back. And again, inhale, those shoulders roll up. Exhale, they move down our back. Inhale, those shoulders up again. Exhale, they're down our back. Then we're going to take our left hand, placing it on the mat. Let's make a cone with our fingertips. Inhale, let's sweep that arm up and over, reaching out towards the left side. Just a gentle stretch right now. Opening up, creating more space in our rib cage. Maybe allowing for deeper breaths as we move through our practice. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, let's place our right fingertips on the mat. Sweep that left arm overhead as we exhale. A few breaths here. Back to the left side. Let's place those left fingertips on the mat again. Rise that, bring that right arm up. And this time as you're sweeping over, see if you can reach just a little bit further while also using that left hand to push your right hip, your right buttocks down onto the mat, ensuring that they don't lift up. So right arm is reaching, right hip is down on the mat. Nice big stretch. Switching sides, let's take some right fingertips on the mat. Left hand sweeps up and over, reaching nice and long to the side. Again, using those right fingertips, pushing that right thigh down, left thigh, sorry, down onto the mat. You can lift your gaze upwards. Inhale as we rise up. We're gonna have a few neck rolls. So let's drop our left ear to our left shoulder. We're sitting nice and tall. Letting it rest here for a gentle stretch on that right side of your neck. Let's drop the chin, rolling it along your chest, bringing the right ear to the right shoulder. Feel that neck start to open. Again, dropping that chin, rolling it to the other side, left ear, left shoulder. Drop the chin, roll it, right ear, right shoulder. You might notice one side is tighter than the other. Maybe as you inhale, you can imagine sending some of that nice, fresh, oxygenated blood to the tight spots of our body. Let's drop the chin. Head is forward. Just let the weight of the head pull forward, or you can interlace your fingers if you'd like, placing it here behind the back of your head, increasing that stretch just a little bit more. Always going to a place that's comfortable for your body, nothing more. We don't want to hurt ourselves. Your hands are there. Let's gently release them as we lift our head upwards, looking up towards the ceiling. Stretching that front side of our neck. If you'd like, you could take your hands, placing them on your chest, fingers spread wide, using the traction from your hands to pull, stretching that neck a little bit further. We often don't open the front sides of our necks. We're tilted downwards, looking at our phones, our computers, all the things going on around us. Coming back to center. I'm going to do a few wrist stretches. If you've done this class with me before, you might have done these. So our fingers are spread wide. Let's start with our right hand and right arm out in front of us. Hand is flexed. Check that that shoulder isn't reaching too far to your socket though. So as you reach forward, then tuck that shoulder back in. When we're here, we're going to start to rotate that right hand downwards. We'll grab a hold of the pinky finger and give it a gentle pull. Let's go to the ring finger, giving it a gentle pull. Middle finger, gentle pull. Trying to ignore the people cutting grass in the green space near my house. Index finger, giving it a gentle pull. And we'll release that. We're going to rotate the hand back upwards. Keep on turning till the thumb is pointing downwards. Grab a hold of your thumb. Shoulders still pop back in that socket. Pulling downwards on that thumb. Gently release that thumb. Let's give everything on that side a bit of a shake. Switching sides, we'll shoot that left hand out. Hand is flexed, fingers are spread wide. Then we'll rotate counterclockwise till your pinky is pointing down. Grab a hold of that pinky. As you pull, see if you can rotate that wrist a little bit further, making sure that shoulder is tucked back in the socket. Let's grab ring finger, pulling that downwards. Middle finger, pulling it downwards. Lastly, pointer finger, pulling that downwards. Let's release that. We'll rotate it clockwise till your thumb is pointing downwards. Grabbing a hold of your thumb, give that a pull. Release that thumb gently. Let's give both of our arms a wiggle and a stretch. From here, we're going to open our right leg out to the side in some sort of V shape, wherever your leg goes. We'll take the sole of the left foot, place it on the inside of your inner thigh. Sitting nice and tall, moving any fleshy bits if you need to. Then we'll take the right forearm. We're going to place it on the inside of that right thigh. You might be able to come a little bit closer to the calf with that right forearm in front of the foot. We're going to come into a side stretch. Find a spot that's good for your body. Might be above the foot, might be further down. And use the leverage of your arm on your foot. Foot's flexed, on your leg, sorry. See if you can help open up that body as we reach forwards. Fingertips trying to reach those toes. Opening up the side, lifting your chest. Maybe we're smiling. We're definitely continuing to breathe. Okay, let's rise up. Bring those left fingertips on the mat behind you. Lift that right hip. All the hips come up. Right arm sweeps up and over, opening that front hip flexor. And then we'll lower back down to the mat, switching sides. Left leg comes out, right foot is on your inner thigh. Left arm comes to the inside of your left thigh or your foot. You might notice that you can have different mobility on different sides. That's fine. No judgment. Just go where your body can go. Right arm is reaching upwards towards those left flex toes. As we're reaching here, see if you can open that chest a little bit. A few more breaths here. Maybe you can reach a little bit further. And then let's rise up. Right fingertips come behind us on the mat. Sweep that left hip up and open, reaching the left arm out long behind us, opening that left hip flexor here. And let's lower back down to the mat and make our way to cat and cow pose. Sorry, to tabletop for cat and cow. So once we're in tabletop, checking that our wrists are below our shoulders, knees are below hips. Tops of the feet are pushing into the mat. Your core is engaged. Nice table here. When you're ready, we'll drop the belly, lift the tailbone, lift that chest. And our inhale. Really focus on moving with your breath here today. Pushing into the mat, curving that spine, exhale. And maybe as you move, you can come back to that breath counting to 4 for your inhale. And then again, 4 for your exhale. Four for that inhale. Maybe you'd like to count a little bit longer. Exhale. A few more of these. Continuing to move with your breath. Come to a neutral tabletop when you're ready. And then just take a moment to wiggle, maybe side to side. Maybe you'd like happy puppy looking out over your shoulders. Bending those hips. Just waking everything up. Then we'll tuck those toes. Fingertips are spread wide. Yep, spread wide, pushing into the mat. Let's lift that tailbone. For downward facing dog. Walking it out here. One leg at a time. Wiggling the hips. Maybe you'll bend both the knees at the same time, pushing your rib cage into your upper thighs. Then see if you can straighten those legs a little bit. All while keeping your tailbone lifted in the sky. Imagine that you've got someone behind you pulling on those hips, lifting it up. Let's inhale our right leg up, nice and long, three-legged dog. You can open those hips if you'd like, keep them square, whatever your body feels like you need. Then we're going to shift our weight forward, bringing our right knee to our right elbow, just for a tap. Inhale again, nice and long, three-legged dog. Let's exhale, right knee to left elbow. Again, inhaling nice and long, coming into the center, right knee towards our chin. Inhaling that back up, nice and long, three-legged dog, lowering it back down towards the mat. Let's inhale that left leg up, nice and long. Maybe you'd like to open the hip or bend the knee. Nice big stretch. Then let's exhale, bring that left knee towards the left elbow. Tap and hold. Inhaling it back up again, nice and long. Three-legged dog. Coming forward, left knee to right elbow. Again, inhaling nice and long. Three-legged dog. Coming to the center, left knee towards your chin. Inhaling again, nice and long. Three-legged dog. Lowering that left foot back down to the mat. Let's lower the knees down to the mat. We're coming into child's pose. Keeping those knees together this time. Push those sit bones back towards your feet. Resting that forehead on the mat. Notice your rib cage. Less space here in this pose to breathe. Maybe you can feel your back expanding. The back moves, expands with your breath. The front of our rib cage has less movement here. Notice how your back stretches as you inhale here. Let's come back up into a tabletop pose. Fingertips are spread wide. We're on our knees here. Neutral spine. Swoop that right hand up and open. And then exhale, we're going to scoop it under that left arm. Coming up onto the shoulder, threading the needle. Let's walk that left hand forward. You also have the option to sweep that arm behind you, resting it on your lower back, or grabbing a hold of your right hip. Coming back to your nostril breathing. Let's unhook that left arm if you've got it hooked. Otherwise, you can start walking it back inwards. We'll come back to tabletop. Neutral position here. Then let's sweep that left arm up and open, opening that left side. And then we'll sweep the left arm under, coming up onto your left shoulder. Right hands can sweep behind you to your lower back or your hip, or you can keep it forwards. Breathing here. Two more breaths. Start to unwind, coming back to tabletop pose. Let's tuck our toes then, fingers spread wide. Push back into downward facing dog again. Let's look forward between our hands, step that right foot forward, the left to meet the right, forward fold. Grab a hold of your elbows, feet are about hip width apart. Letting the weight of your head and your arms pull you forward. Let's keep a small bend in our knees here. bigger bend if that feels good for you. It can feel like a nice supported pose, having your upper body rest on your thighs a little bit. Let's swing our arms side to side. Release those arms very slowly, starting to rise up. Roll those shoulders up and back. Take a moment here, palms open, forward, facing forward, hands by your side. Maybe closing your eyes, find some stillness. Open your eyes, a soft gaze. Let's heel toe those feet back together. We're going to inhale our arms up and overhead, reaching nice and long and tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, place those hands on the mat. Step back to a high plank. Moving slowly, let's lower for chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Looking forward between your hands, step the left foot forward, the right to meet the left, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, arms overhead, pushing those palms together, bringing them down your center line. Again, inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to high plank. From here, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. Three breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling through your nostrils if you can. Looking forward between your hands, let's step that right foot forward, left to meet the right, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, arms up and overhead, pushing the palms together, pulling them down the center. Last one, inhale those arms up and overhead, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, place the hands down on the mat, stepping or jumping back to high plank. You can head straight to downward facing dog or chaturanga, upward facing dog. Inhale, downward facing dog. Looking forward between your hands, let's step that left foot forward. Right foot forward to meet the left, forward fold. This time we're going to stay in a forward fold. If you can, let's grab hold of our big toes with our middle and pointer fingers. Bend those knees as much as you like, wrapping those fingers around your big toe. Once you've got a hold, see if you can straighten the legs a little bit. You don't want to lock the legs, but straighten them to a place that's comfortable for you. Once you're here, you might be able to use the leverage of your toes to pull your upper body forwards. Focusing on your breath here. Maybe four count inhale and 4 count exhale. Let's release those toes. Place your right hand down on the mat in front of you in the center of your feet. Inhale that left arm up, keeping a small bend in those knees. Side stretch. Exhale, bring that left hand down to center. Inhale, right hand comes up and open. Exhale, right hand comes back down to the mat. Let's inhale and rise up into a chair pose. Look down, see if you can see those big toes. Find a spot that's on your imaginary ledge Not too far forward, sitting back far enough to see those toes. Bring your hands into prayer pose. We're going to come into a twist here as well. You've got this. Keep breathing. Start to twist left elbow to right knee without shooting your knees off to the side, keeping those knees to the center. Twist to the side, opening up with your arms if you'd like here. Otherwise, we'll keep them in prayer pose. Let's come back to center, switch sides. You got this, we're almost done. Right elbow, left knee, twist. Looking out towards the side or up towards the ceiling. Continue to breathe here. Coming back to that counting breath if it helps. Okay, back to center. Forward fold. Well done. Let's give those legs a wiggle while we're here in this fold. Now we're just going to stay in this forward fold. See if you can place your hands under your feet. Just tuck them under those toes. Knees are still bent here. Maybe we can straighten them while we're here. You've got this. Embrace the burn. Breathing in and out through your nostril. If you can, if you need to breathe through your mouth, you go for it. Releasing those hands, almost there. We're gonna rise up to chair for 2 breaths. Here, you've got this. Look for your toes. 1. Exhale, forward fold. Well done. Let's step back to high plank, or you can go straight to downward facing dog. If you're in high plank, we'll take a vinyasa. Focusing on that breathing as you move. Inhale that right leg up, nice and long, 3-legged dog. Bring it forward, place it between your hands. We're coming to a low lunge. Left knee comes down to the mat. Untuck those toes. Rise up, hips are squared, front of the mat. Shoulders away from the ears. Let's rock over our front leg. So straighten that front right leg, coming into a forward fold over it. Start to shift your weight forward. Place your hands either side of that right foot. Untuck those toes, put them behind you. We're going to come straight up into a high plank here. And then push back into downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Point your fingers pointing forwards. The rest of the fingers are spread wide. We're pushing into all edges of our hands equally. Let's inhale that left leg up nice and long. 3-legged dog. Bring it forward. Place it between your hands. Low lunge on the left side. Untuck the toes. Rise up. Breathing. All that fresh oxygen, all that energy. Straighten that left leg as we shift our weight forward, folding over the left leg. Come forward, place your hands either side of that left foot. Come into a high plank. From here, you have the option to take a vinyasa or head straight to downward facing dog. Two more breaths here. Let's inhale that right leg, nice and long, 3-legged dog. Bring it between our hands, coming into a high lunge this time. So right foot's on the mat, up on those left tippy toes. We'll rise up. Arms reaching nice and high above us. And we'll come into a twist here. Let's bring our hands Heart center, palms pressing together. Slowly start to twist that upper body, bringing that left elbow to the right knee. You can rest it anywhere near there, or if you can reach the left knee with that elbow, sorry, the right knee with that elbow, see if you can use it to twist a little bit deeper without letting that right knee fall inwards. One more breath here. Coming back to center, place those hands down on the mat, either side of that right foot, step back to high plank, push back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Inhale that left leg nice and long. Bring it forward, place it between your hands, high lunge. Rising up, arms overhead. Hips are squared. Shoulders away from the ears. As we stand in these hold in these standing poses, or move a little bit quicker. Let's bring our hands to our heart center, pushing together, coming into that twist. We start to create fire or tapas in our body. Using our breath to help cool our body. One last breath here. Sorry, I noticed the sun's moving a lot, creating shadows, which is changing the light on my computer. Hands back down to the mat, either side of that left foot. Push back to high plank. From here, we take a vinyasa, or meet in downward facing dog. Breathing just through your nostril if you're able. The next exhale, we're going to shift our weight forward, coming into high plank. We're just holding it here in high plank today. 2 more breaths. And let's push back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Shifting our weight forward, coming into high plank to hold here again. Fingertips are spread wide. Gazes downwards as to not strain your neck. You don't want to be looking upwards if you can. Holding here, almost got it. Last exhale, let's push back, downward facing dog. See if we can continue to have even inhales and exhales. Last time coming forward, high plank, holding here. You've got this. Last exhale, let's push back, downward facing dog. Coming into a wide-legged child's pose. Lower those knees as wide as the mat, untuck those toes. Push your sit bone back to your heels. Forehead comes down to the mat. Maybe noticing how your ribs are moving here. There's lots of space for you to breathe into the front side of your body when we're in a wide-legged child's pose. I'm taking a pranayama course right now, and we're talking about the importance of breath. And Obviously, we all need it to survive. And we've been learning about how our ancestors back in the caveman days were all nose breathers. And the thinking is that maybe this is actually healthier for us. Our nostrils have a better filter system. They're able to filter the air for us better. Maybe think about that as you breathe in and out through your nose here. And slowly come into downward facing dog, making your way there at your own pace. Let's give it a little wiggle before we get started again. Maybe bending those knees, wiggling the hips. We'll inhale when you're ready, right leg up again, nice and long, three-legged dog. Bring it forward, place it between your hands, coming into warrior two. So let's rotate that left foot 90 degrees, checking the alignment of your feet. Windmill those arms open. Your body is nice and straight, not reaching too far forwards or back. Look down, see if you can see that right big toe. Means your knees not falling inwards. Let's flip our hands up and back down. Keeping those shoulders away from our ears. Looking out over those right fingertips. If you're shaking, embrace that shaking. See if you can push into all four edges of your feet equally. So the back edge of that left foot, sorry, the left edge of the left foot, the right edge. Really pushing into all areas of your feet here. And let's go ahead and straighten that right leg. We're going to come into triangle pose. Shimmy that left hip out towards the back of your mat. Right hand reaches forward, coming to the inside of your right thigh. Left arm comes up and open. Gazes out towards the side or up towards the ceiling if it's not straining for your neck. Maybe you're able to breathe through your nostril over here. You've also got the option to bind them. We've got a few more breaths here. If you'd like, you can bend that front knee just a little bit. Sweep the right arm up and under. You can just rest it behind your leg, or you can take that left hand, reach it behind. Maybe you can grab a hold of your hands or one of your wrists. And if you're able to bind, then see if you can straighten that right leg. Looking out towards the side, maybe upwards. Just ensuring you're not straining your neck here. Wherever you are in this pose, let's bring our hands either side of that right foot. Step back, high plank, one breath here, and then we'll push back to downward facing dog. Two more breaths here, and let's inhale that left leg, nice and long. Big long stretch. Bring it forward, place it between your hands, rising up. Warrior two. Checking our alignment here. Our feet, hands, torso. Flipping those hands again, maybe. Soft gaze over those left fingertips. Coming back to counting our breath. The next exhale, let's straighten that front left leg. Start to shimmy that right hip out towards the back of your mat. Left hand comes to the inside of your left calf. Right arm reaches upwards. Breathing. Let's come into a bind if you'd like. So bend that left knee just a little bit. We'll sweep that left arm under. Don't worry if you lose your balance. Grabbing hold of the hands or placing them behind your back. Whatever's right for your body, straightening that left leg. Gaze out to the side. Two more breaths here. Let's slowly unbind. Place your hands either side of your left foot. Step back to high plank and either take a vinyasa or head straight to downward facing dog. One more breath here. We're looking forward between your hands. Step that right foot forward. Left to meet the right. Forward fold. Very slowly rising up. Bringing those hands up and overhead, pressing those palms together, moving slowly. Hands come down their center line. And again, let's open our palms. Receiving, facing outwards. Here, you can close your eyes or keep a soft gaze here. We're gonna come into Garudasana, eagle pose. Starting with our right leg. So left foot, gripping nice and strong into the mat. Leg is strong, it's our supporting leg. Let's take that right leg, sweep it up, hook it over that left thigh. You may be able to get the foot hooked behind your calf. Otherwise, keep it down at the side. Take your right arm, sweep it under your left arm. And then if you can, bring your hand, hooking it into the center. Tops of the fingertips on the right hand are pushing into your left palm. Sitting into a mini squat here. We've got two more breaths. Finding a focal point, something that's not moving. I'm watching myself wiggle on my screen here. Not good. Lifting those arms just a little bit for that last breath. Then let's unbind slowly, and if you can, shoot right back to warrior three. Hips squared to the mat. One more breath here. Let's lower that right foot, coming into high lunge again. Up on those tippy toes of the right foot, arms up and overhead. Shoulders away from our ears. Let's straighten that front leg. Take those fingers. Sorry, let's jump that right foot in just a little bit, almost warrior one feet here. Interlace the fingers behind your back. And fold forward over that front left leg, lifting the arms behind you if you can. Maybe you've grabbed a hold of your wrists. Let's use those arms to pull us upwards. Release those fingers, give them a shake. Step up to the front of the mat. Both legs can have a shake. Switching sides, nice and strong on that right leg. Feet gripping into the mat. Left leg comes over and across. Hooking the feet if you can. Arms in front of you. Left arm sweeps under. Left fingertips reaching around to grab a hold of the palm of your right hand, or let's press the backs of the hands together. 3 breaths here. Pull it upwards if you can, arms coming up just a little bit for that last breath, and let's uncross everything, shooting back to warrior 3, keeping those hips squared. Nice and strong standing leg, focusing on our breath. Equal inhales and exhales if we can. Let's lower for high lunge, left foot down to the mat, coming onto our tippy toes. Sweep those arms overhead. Arms come down, jump that back foot in just a little bit on a 45-degree angle. Interlace those fingers as we straighten that front leg, folding forward. Start to rise up using your arms to pull you upwards. Rising up, let's step that left foot forward to the front, giving everything a bit of a wiggle. And we're going to find our way down onto the mat. We're going to make a V or a backwards V, keeping the left knee bent. Left heel is down towards your right thigh. Cross that right leg over. Sitting nice and tall. Inhale this left arm up towards the sky. We're coming into a twist. Exhale. Grab a hold of your right knee with your left elbow if you can, using it as leverage, sitting tall. Coming into a gentle twist. Looking out over that right shoulder if you can. Nice and tall still. Your next exhale, let's release, coming back to center. As we start to uncross those legs, we're going to come into Agni Sthasana. It's a fire log pose, so legs are stacked on top of each other. Staying here only for a moment, we're just going to fold forward, not curving our back, leading with our chest. Couple breaths here. Finding your way upwards. Switching legs. So right leg is on the mat, knee bent, right heel towards your right thigh. Left foot comes across. Sitting nice and tall. Inhale our right arm up. Exhale, right elbow to left knee, using that as leverage to help us twist. Maybe you can inhale, find some more length, sitting nice and tall. Maybe on the exhale, you can twist a little bit further. Always listening to your body. We're looking out over that left shoulder or to the side of your mat. Slowly untwisting, making a fire log with our legs, left legs on top this time. Folding forward, leading with the chest. It's quite a deep hip opener, similar to pigeon pose. Slowly walking our way upwards. Uncross those legs, reaching them out in front of us. We're going to lower back to boat pose. So let's start to shift our weight. Your knees are bent. We'll lift them off the mat. Trying to keep a straight spine if we can. We've got an imaginary thread pulling on your chest, keeping it upwards, not letting you curve your spine. Reaching those arms out when you're ready. Maybe you can straighten those legs a little bit. Maybe you need to lower them, keep the knees bent. Got 3 more breaths here. Equal inhales and exhales through our nostrils if we can. Last breath, maybe you can straighten your legs a little bit further. You've got this, embrace the shaking, and we're going to lower down to the mat very, very, very slowly. Slower than you think is possible. Keep going, all the way there. Nice big long stretch, arms overhead. Let's bring those legs in for a hug. Placing our heels down onto the mat. Let's bring our feet, as wide as our mat. Letting those knees fall together. Just helping to release our lower spine, letting it melt in towards the mat. Maybe let's place our hands on our ribs while we're here. Similar to what we did in the beginning of our practice, noticing how they move. As we start to open our knees, let's heel toe our feet back to the center. Let your knees drop out to the right side, just keeping them stacked or close to stacked. Bring those arms out to the sides, making a T. We'll look out over our left shoulder. A gentle supine twist. And bringing those knees back to center. Letting them fall out to the left side this time as we look out over our right arm, right shoulder. Maybe your eyes are closed. Let's bring our knees back in, giving yourself one big hug, rocking side to side. And then we'll shoot our legs out nice and long, letting those feet fall out to the sides. Hips are melting into the mat. Arms are down by our sides, palms facing upward. Jaw is relaxed. Shoulders are relaxed. Forehead is relaxed. Breathing is relaxed. Nothing is forced. Just letting our bodies melt into our yoga mats. We'll slowly start to deepen your breath, giving your fingers and toes a bit of a wiggle maybe. Taking a stretch if you need. Coming back into our body. And when you're ready, we'll meet in a seated position, moving at your own pace, keeping your eyes open, closed or with a soft gaze if you'd like. We'll bring our hands to our heart center, palms pressed together. Thank you all for making time to practice with me today. Apologies again for all of the grass cutting noise. I hope to see you next week. Thank you. Namaste.